Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Hebrew Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from this scattered testimony of the various prophets of the Old Testament. And it became the Book of Zion, a book which gives strikingly accurate details of the year 2020, and which contains God's ultimate judgment for society, in particular the nation of the United States of America, which is the main focus of the prophecy of Israel. And it foretells the destruction of a great northern kingdom created from the sides of the earth, and in its place, the creation of a new nation contained in the mountains called Zion. And that new nation is created from what is left of the United States of America after a sore destruction. Now, we are, I believe, in the midst of the sore destruction that is foretold. That sore destruction is the result of Donald J. Trump and Black Lives Matter, COVID-19, and his failed reelection. Now, the specifics of the prophecy foretells COVID-19 as a consumption decreed, which overflows with righteousness, which speaks of Black Lives Matter, and this 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 consumption decreed is determined over the whole face of the earth. It is a plague. It consumes the lives of millions of people, and like I said, the overflowing of righteousness is the protests of Black Lives Matter in regard to the death of George Floyd, whose death was foretold in prophecy, as Isaiah saying, "How dare you grind the faces of the poor?" That's exactly how George Floyd died. And this is righteousness, that the Black Lives Matter people should rise up and say, "No more." Add to that Donald J. Trump and his corrupt presidency, he being the basest of men, who was put into power by God in order to destroy America, which speaks of this sore destruction that is coming upon us as a result of Donald's failed reelection campaign. Now, he's convinced his Republicans, the core base of his followers, that he was cheated in this election, and he is inciting them to riot in an attempt to overthrow the government. Now, he's going through legal channels at this time, through the court system, trying to corrupt the electoral college. He will fail, because if he didn't fail, well, it doesn't matter if he fails or not in any of these attempts. What matters is the two opposing parties that he has separated so far that they no longer constitute a single reality. We have two Americas right now. We have Joe Biden's America, and we have Donald Trump's America. And Donald Trump's America is following him blindly through faith. Joe Biden is just going the American way, business as usual. Okay? And so we have the American population, business as usual, versus the Republicans, who who have been conditioned to believe whatever Donald Trump says. They've been conditioned to, well, they always were violent anyway, the white core supremacists and the evangelicals who are fanatical in their religious beliefs. And these two come together through QAnon, this conspiracy theory where this Q person is supposedly feeding information to the public about Donald Trump being the Messiah and being there to thwart the evil Satan worshipping Democrats who have just won the election. And it's not the 90% of the Republican Party, like my family members, who are Republican in their ideology, but are American in their reality. They're not the ones that are a problem. It's the core of his followers that are white supremacists, that are QAnon followers, and that are evangelicals who have sold into the Messiah complex. Those are the people that are going to be rising up to uphold their version of America. They have nothing to lose. Okay, they have everything to lose and no way out of this situation. Their ideology prevents them from going down without a fight. They don't want to lose. They don't want Black Lives Matter to win because they're white supremacists. And that very concept right there tells you that's a fight. White supremacists versus Black Lives Matter. They don't want the Biden to be in the White House because he is on the Black Lives Matter side. They are fighting for a failed way of life that is based on base ideals, false beliefs, and a, their only historical opportunity to gain control. And that is the secret to this. Trump is their one chance to take over America and to have it their way. They are not going to let him walk out of that White House without taking down as many of their enemies as they can on their way out. But see, that core of his followers that believe that he actually won the election, they're not going to want Biden to be in that White House ever. So he has split this country into two separate nations, the Democratic nation and the Republican nation. And they're going to go to it. They're going to kill each other. And what's going to be left, hopefully, will be the Black Lives Matter people. Because hopefully we will stand back and let them fight it out. Because they represent everything that opposes us, the poor, the disenfranchised, the blacks, the browns, the reds, the yellows, the poor whites, like me, and the drug users, which are the ones that I believe should be championed, because we're the ones without a voice. Everybody says that we're terrible people that do all these terrible things wrong, but how many of you have actually seen living examples of that? Our prisons are filled with people who sell drugs. What does that tell you? Our prisons are filled with people who sell drugs. Why are drugs so terribly bad? They've been with us throughout our entire history. They'll always be a part of our lives. And they've never hurt this nation as much as the war on drugs has. So, why don't we stop believing in a nation that never believed in us in the first place? And let's quarantine ourselves from COVID-19 and from the Republicans and Democrats who are about ready to duke it out. If you get high, use drugs. Or if you're of a nationality other than white, you really don't have a stake in this fight. This is a fight between white Democrats and white Republicans because they're the only ones with the money and the means to control the government. It has nothing to do with us poor people. Unless, of course, you're part of that clique. If you're more American than you are a drug user, go for it. Pick a side. Go fight out the war. But if you're like me, if you hate police brutality, you hate the war on drugs, you hate poverty, you hate money, you hate inequality in any way, shape, or form, and you want to find something new and better for your life, find Zion. It's a beautiful dream. A dream that has the potential to become reality if we all just take that one step that will fuck everything and everybody up. Let's go camping. Let's say fuck money. We have everything we need out in the panhandle of Nebraska. We have sand for glass, and silicone for chips. Everything we need is out there. We can create a whole city out there with nothing but mud bricks, sand, and seeds. We can feed ourselves, we can clothe ourselves, we can do everything we need with a few seeds, some good land, some water, which is the aquifer, and some sand. So we'll just go out there and we'll Minecraft it. We'll start with the basic raw materials. Mud bricks for buildings, sand for glass, so we can have our beautiful pipes that we can, you know, it's like we can have our pipes in our bunks, free of charge. We can grow our own food from from grocery scraps, and with a little bit of effort and some nice fresh air, a little bit of time out in the good wilderness, we can defeat COVID by quarantining and mitigating the effects by contact tracing and wearing masks in public until there's no COVID left among us. Then we can have our solemn assembly and we can call on the grays telepathically, and they say they will come. And when they come, they'll sit down at the edge of our camp, and then all the world's eyes are going to be on us. And suddenly, all of us doped up dunderheads that are too stupid to know how to live will be the only people on Earth capable of communicating with a highly advanced telepathic species that are here to help guide us through our darkest hour and ensure that we will live to see a brighter world, which the prophecy calls the world of Zion, a world which we create using the template of the Old Testament prophecy, which I've outlined in the Pot Smoker's Bible, which will help us to create a more just society based on happiness and prosperity for all, dignity and freedom for all. No more money to corrupt us, only the gray to watch over us, guide us, protect us, and keep us out from all harm, to teach us right from wrong, so that we can be worthy of them. May our thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, my friend. Choose your guilds wisely, because it will open up a whole new world to you. A world where every day is an adventure, and where no one ever says goodbye. because we all love each other way too much to ever do so. So we'll say later now.